In 2025, US employers announced more than 1 million job cuts. That's the highest annual total since the pandemic. And according to the outplacement firm Challenger, Gray, and Christmas, companies blamed roughly 55,000 of those cuts directly on one thing: artificial intelligence.
Massive job cuts at Amazon.
AI's potential impact on employment that could soon be felt.
Companies like Amazon need to allocate massive amounts of capital towards AI infrastructure.
Artificial intelligence is presenting a real challenge to the American workforce.
And I think there's a danger that AI, in its automating form, in the form that displaces workers, will predominate.
Now here's the part most people get wrong. When you picture a job being automated, you probably picture a factory, a warehouse, a truck, something physical. But that's not where the cuts are landing right now. They're landing on people with degrees, desks, and salaries. Salesforce eliminated 4,000 workers and said AI reduced how many people it needed. IBM used AI agents to automate enough HR work that its CEO said the company replaced the work of a couple hundred HR employees. Its Ask HR system now handles most common employee questions on its own. These are not just struggling companies cutting costs. These are major companies deciding some work can now be done with fewer people. So the real question isn't whether AI is coming for white-collar jobs. That's already happening. The question is which ones it takes first and whether yours is near the front of that line. The answer is probably not the job you'd guess. Let's get into it. Quick thing before we dig in. Drop a comment right now with the field you work in. Finance, law, marketing, software, whatever it is. And tell me honestly, do you think your job is safe from AI? Or are you already watching it change the work around you? I'm not looking for predictions. I want to know what people are actually seeing on the ground. Leave it below, then keep watching, because the data might change your answer. Let's start with the single most revealing number in this whole debate.
A Stanford professor and director of the Stanford Digital Economy Lab, he has shaped the global debate on technology for decades.
I think it's bigger than the Industrial Revolution, and it's happening 10 times faster. Millions of jobs will disappear. This is the most transformative technology that's ever happened.
In a 2025 Stanford study led by Eric Brynjolfsson, researchers looked at real payroll records from ADP, the largest payroll software provider in the country, and studied what had happened since ChatGPT launched. What they found is striking. Early career workers ages 22 to 25 in the jobs most exposed to AI saw a double-digit decline in employment after controlling for company-level shocks. Meanwhile, more experienced workers in those same occupations stayed stable or kept growing. And here's the kicker. Over that same period, older workers in those exact same roles saw their employment hold steady or even grow. Same jobs, same companies. The difference was experience, and the people at the bottom of the ladder are the ones disappearing. So why is this happening to office work specifically?
CEOs who are replacing thousands of customer service workers with AI, entire design departments, even coders are being supplanted. And Becky and I were just talking about how we used to tell our kids, hey, if you major in computer science, you'll be good to go. And now those graduates are having a hard time finding jobs. It's starting to appear in the numbers.
For decades, the assumption was the opposite. That automation hits physical labor first, and knowledge workers are safe because their jobs require thinking. That assumption is now backwards. The International Monetary Fund explained why. In a January 2024 report, the IMF estimated that about 40% of jobs worldwide are exposed to AI. But in advanced economies like the United States, that figure rises to roughly 60%. The reason is simple. Rich economies run on cognitive, desk-based work, and that's exactly the kind of task a language model can do. Which brings us to the actual question. Which specific jobs are first?
Some economists say businesses are now replacing entry-level jobs with artificial intelligence.
The research from Goldman Sachs, the IMF, and the World Economic Forum lines up pretty closely. Here's where the pressure is landing right now. Start with legal support.
This is a tool that in the future displaces the role or function of certain team members within a legal practice.
There's an AI platform called Harvey, now valued in the billions, that helps legal teams with contract review, due diligence, drafting, and document-heavy work. A lot of that work used to fall to paralegals and junior associates. Not all of it is gone, but the routine, document-heavy parts are exactly where AI tools are being pushed first. Then there's customer service.
Are you a person, Daniel?
I'm actually an AI system designed to help you with your inquiry about building a house. So how many bedrooms are you looking for?
AI voice agents can now run full phone calls, handle objections, answer questions, log the outcome without a person on the line. Goldman Sachs flags insurance claims clerks, bill collectors and customer service reps as some of the highest risk roles in the entire economy, because AI can handle most of what those jobs actually involve. Next, entry-level finance, data reconciliation, routine financial modeling, report generation, basic bookkeeping. Goldman names these as early substitution targets. The work is digital, repetitive, and rule-based, which is exactly the zone where AI is strongest. And content production, first drafts, SEO copy, social posts, campaign briefs, increasingly AI-generated. The junior marketing roles built mostly around cranking out content are feeling it first. Notice the pattern? None of these are low-skill jobs. Most require a degree and real training. But they share one trait. The core tasks can be written down as instructions and handed to a machine. That's the actual dividing line. Not how smart the job is, but how describable it is. But the layoffs aren't even the clearest signal. The hiring data is. Here's what I mean. In April 2026, Goldman Sachs economist Elsie Peng published an analysis trying to measure AI's real-time effect on the job market. Her estimate: AI was creating a net drag of about 16,000 jobs a month on US payroll growth. That's AI replacing some workers while making others more productive, and the replacement side currently wins by about that much. Now, an honest caveat, because Goldman included one themselves. They say the true number is probably smaller than that, because their model doesn't fully count all the new jobs AI creates. Data center construction, new products, downstream demand. So this isn't 16,000 people fired by robots every month. It's a measurable but contested slowdown in hiring. The direction is real, the exact size is debated, and that pulls everything together. Entry-level work has always been the on-ramp. You take the junior analyst job, you spend a couple years learning the craft, you build the judgment that gets you promoted. AI is quietly removing those bottom rungs. The senior roles that need real judgment are still there. But the path to reach them is narrowing. That's the structural risk, and it's hitting the youngest workers hardest precisely because they have the least experience to fall back on. So how big does this get? Here's where you need the full picture, not just the scary half. Goldman Sachs projects that if AI is widely adopted, it could displace roughly 6 to 7% of the US workforce over the next decade. And if that's spread across 10 years, it'd push unemployment up less than a single percentage point. Meaningful, but not apocalyptic. The World Economic Forum goes further. In its 2025 Future of Jobs report, it projects 92 million roles displaced globally by 2030, but 170 million new ones created, for a net gain of 78 million jobs. Sounds reassuring, right? Here's why you shouldn't fully relax. That net positive number is a global, decade-long average. It tells you nothing about what happens to the specific person who just spent 4 years studying finance and is graduating into a market where the junior jobs are thinning out. More jobs eventually is cold comfort if you're trying to get hired now. And there's a flip side worth sitting with. PwC analyzed close to 1 billion job ads for its 2025 Global AI Jobs Barometer and found that workers with real AI skills command a 56% wage premium over comparable workers without them. The year before, that premium was 25%. So in a single year, the pay gap for knowing how to use these tools more than doubled. PwC's 2026 report put it even higher. That's the actual story. The labor market isn't splitting into humans versus machines. It's splitting into people who can work alongside AI and people who can't. And the gap between them is widening fast. So what's the honest answer to the question we started with? The white-collar jobs AI replaces first are the ones built around routine, describable tasks. Work that's digital, repetitive, and rule-based. Specifically, legal support, entry-level finance and bookkeeping, customer service, and content production. These are not easy jobs, many need degrees, but the tasks at their core can be written into a prompt, and that's what makes them replaceable. So who's most at risk right now? Entry-level workers in those fields. The Stanford data is clear that the people getting squeezed hardest are the youngest, the ones competing for that first or second job on exactly the tasks AI does best. Who's safest? Roles that lean on the things AI can't easily do. Physical presence, real relationships, judgment in messy situations, deep expertise built over years. Goldman points to roles like education workers, judges, and construction managers as jobs where AI is more likely to augment the work than fully replace it.
AI is primarily going to impact jobs, but the thing to understand is that that will include a lot of jobs that we wouldn't normally associate with automation. Often people think about robots in factories.
The common thread is judgment, context, physical presence, or responsibility that cannot be handed off cleanly to software. Skilled trades too, they're in short supply, and a model can't rewire a house. So what should you actually do with this? The data points to one consistent answer. AI literacy is now a wage premium skill. Not knowing AI exists, but being able to actually use these tools in your field and show it. PwC's number went from a 25% premium to 56% in 1 year. The people pulling ahead aren't the ones waiting to see how this plays out. They're the ones already learning to work with the tools that are reshaping their industry. This isn't a doom video. The job market has absorbed massive technological shifts before and come out larger on the other side. But the transition, the gap between the jobs that vanish and the ones that replace them, can be genuinely hard for the people caught in the middle. The ones who handle it best tend to be the ones who saw it clearly and adapted early. Here's the question worth sitting with after you finish watching this video. Forget your job title. Think about the actual tasks you do all day. How many of them could you write down as clear instructions and hand to an AI right now? A few? Half? More? That's not a reason to panic. But it's a reason to be honest with yourself about where your value really comes from, and whether you're building the kind of skills that hold up in a market that's changing this fast. Drop your answer in the comments. What field are you in? How exposed do you think you actually are? And what are you doing about it? I read all of them, and if you want more straight, no-hype breakdowns of the money and career shifts that actually affect your life, subscribe. New video every week. See you in the next one.